Here I am. Hey, oh my goodness, oh my goodness, oh my goodness. Okay, friend, let me tell you, I'm running late. As you saw, a couple of hiccups. I, oh my goodness. LA traffic. That's all I can say. LA traffic. You got to leave 3 hours ahead of time if you want to be on time. So, anyway, I made it. I made it. And I'm so glad that you're here with me to experience this. So, I'm not really even set up yet. So, excuse me while I get the phone. I'll set up here. Um, but you know what? This is just a moment of realizing you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be perfect, and you can be okay and just allow yourself grace to be authentic. And, that's all I'm doing right now. So I can stay blissed and blessed. And I'm so excited right now
Oh,
is that I am with
I
my
don't
friend.
I don't know how to turn down that mic.
You know what? It is okay. We're going to lower it down. Let's see if it's still, the host has
Okay.
muted your mic. So,
Okay, good. Perfect.
I don't know if am I still on?
You'll be picked up on my mic. Let's switch.
I think we're good. Because we can still hear from there. You know what, friends? Friends, this is what a live show is like. There are hiccups. Thank you so much for being present. Anyway, let's get to it. One, I'm so glad you're here. Welcome to the Blissed and Blessed show.
Woo!
With a special dear friend of mine, actually. His name is Dr. Gray Kason. He's been a psychologist for over 20 years, and I've known him, I feel like half of those years. And
I've actually been a psychologist 30 plus years now. Maybe it was 20 when we met. Who knows?
Well,
No, it was probably less than when we met.
It's like LA. Oh, we've got to have you on so we can see you. Can we toggle back to you?
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Here we go.
We need
Yeah.
you.
In fact, you could probably turn off your phone unless you don't need it, because I think that where the echo may be coming from.
Oh,
but
there I am.
yeah.
Look at me.
But you could do both.
Yeah, I just muted myself.
Oh, okay. Perfect. And then you can pick up on my mic.
Oh,
so
perfect.
I have a little setup here in my office that I use
Yes.
for my podcast, but let's talk about that later.
I love it.
So we've known each other for years, and you've always been one of my favorite people from the moment I met you. And you're just a sparkling light. So I am thrilled to be on this show. I mean, I really am.
Thank you. First of all, that just touches me because you're actually one of my favorite people that I've met here in Los Angeles since I've been here since 2007. And I just appreciate you.
Thank you
so much. You've always been gracious. I don't recall exactly. Were we on a project? Like, how did we meet? Do you remember?
So we met. I would actually turn down the volume there because there's still a little echo being picked up. I'm so sorry.
No,
But yeah, no, we met on a project in no, we didn't. We met on in Marky's class. We took a class together.
Yes, in Marky's class. And the reason why I have to still keep this on because I'm not connected to there.
No, you are. If I
am,
put you there,
but it's only because I think of that I'm on here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know. But
no. Actually, this is me doing that for you. So
that is you.
That is me. I have two cameras on you.
You do.
Yeah. So.
Oh, so I could turn this off.
You could turn it off,
and I wouldn't go away.
You won't go away.
Okay.
But,
all right. Let me try. Okay. Javon says it's fun with both.
It's fine with both as long as just turn down that all the way down so there's no echo.
There's no echo. No echo. Echo.
This is behind the scenes, baby. This is behind the scenes. This is what real life is, behind the scenes.
It is. Everything that you see here, this is like one of a kind show right now.
Big old mess. It's behind the scenes.
Beautiful mess.
Beautiful
mess. So I want to get back to you.
Yeah.
Do you first let me ask you this. I always call you Dr. G. I always call him Dr. G. Do you mind that?
No, I not only don't mind it, I find that very wonderful and endearing.
Oh,
Um, I actually like people call me Dr. Greg a lot. Dr.
yes.
G is sort of like your very individual
Yeah.
greeting for me, so
It
I actually
is.
find that wonderful.
Yeah, because I say it with love. Because I'm like, I love this. So I want to tell people a little bit about you. You've been, a psychologist, 30 plus years, but you've been
Since
on
yeah.
you've been on TV shows. You've been on like
Yeah.
The Doctors, LA
Mhm.
Shrinks,
Yeah.
and the Nancy Grace show, like
Yes.
an advisor, an expert. So, I just want people to know this, about you and plus what you do to help people. So I was just curious, what inspired you, first of all, to become a psychologist?
That's a loaded question.
We're ready for it.
I used to always kind of glibly tell people a half truth.
Hmm.
And that half truth was when I was a kid, I used to watch the Bob Newhart show.
Okay.
And I watched Bob Newhart in the first Bob Newhart show. If people don't know, he played a psychologist in Chicago. And he basically, it was a sitcom kind of revolving around all of his crazy harebrained clients and his kind of stumbling through life approach. It was just a really wonderful venue for his comedic talents. So I would watch that. I was just a kid. And every time he showed his name on the door and it said the
Yes.
word psychologist,
Yeah.
I had a pad of paper that I would write down sigh. And then the next week I would watch caw and low gist. Like it took me a few weeks to write the whole name down because they only flash it for a second. That's way before streaming, folks. You couldn't pause. You couldn't TiVo, you couldn't pause, you couldn't do anything. And the bottom line is I wanted to be that. And it was something I really wanted to be, but where did that come from? That's a good question I'll have to ask myself. And that the reason it's actually more of a loaded question is because I had to trace back the origins to my brother, who is mentally disabled. He's cognitively disabled, or was. My brother died 1 month ago. We just had his funeral yesterday. So I even started his eulogy by saying, I would not be the man I am if he were not the man he was. And he really shaped my life in so many ways. And I understood that as I got older, but it took me a little while.
First of all, my condolences,
Thanks.
because loss is never easy, for those, that we love so much and are close to.
No.
And the fact, though, that your brother was an inspiration to where you are right now is a testament to the beauty of his life.
I appreciate that you say that. He did have a beautiful life. I mean, he had lots of struggles and frustrations, but there were all these people. We took his ashes and buried them or spread them at sea, as one can do now.
Mm-hmm.
And there were so many people who wanted to be a part of that. We had chartered a boat that was specifically for this purpose, and we actually got to capacity with the amount of people
Wow.
that wanted to come. And the people that wanted to come were people that were touched by him, and primarily people who've been caregivers for him.
Wow.
They took time out of their day to come and just be there, which really touched us tremendously. And they kept talking about how much he meant to them. So he really did touch a lot of lives in a very positive way.
It's speaking of that, just how like impactful, his life was, and that you see how others were touched by him. And for, it sounds like it was a way for them to really celebrate the beauty of his life. For those that are going through grief right now themselves, like what advice would you give them, like to take care of themselves mentally.
Wish I could give you wise advice. I really do. I have to say that I'm going through grief right now, and it's more like a constant recognition that my mind is not the same. Um, just the how harebrained I've been, how much I forget things, or my mind, my attention switches without me realizing it. And I've had sudden emotional outbursts. I went through a period of extreme anger, um, and irritation, and no, I realized that there's, life is unfair sometimes, and it was unfair. What bothered me in his previous 7 weeks is that he was in the hospital. He was suffering quite a bit. He didn't understand all that was being done to him. He was intubated for nearly a week, and then he spent the next 6 weeks, they had to tie him down because he would pull out his IVs continually. He had to have a kidney tube, and just a continual amount of things that were happening to him that were so upsetting and so disturbing. And this wasn't the joyful life that he had always led. And we had to come to terms with the fact, and with all the doctors who were very kind and very helpful, but that he could never have that life that we were wanting him to have. So we had to just accept that, and allow him to progress in the way he could. I mean, it really became a choice of tying him down the rest of his life, feeding tube, kidney, nephrostomy tube. And there was one other thing. Oh yeah, and then oxygen the whole time. And he continually pulled off his mask. I mean, it's a lot. Or he wouldn't survive. And they didn't think, he could ever take in food again. He couldn't get up. His life was so compromised at that point, and at that point, you're just enabling suffering. So
You mentioned something earlier, as you talk about the last moments, of your brother's life. You said that right now that that your life has changed, that it's you can't, you forget things,
yeah,
going between anger and and just the unfairness of life. um I can understand that, because I felt that way when my mother passed away, that the world looked different to me,
yeah,
that it looked different. And like, even hearing someone laugh, I was just like, why are you laughing? There's nothing funny, and it just felt so different, like that empty space. Um,
oh,
and I feel like, it's so important that we just allow ourselves.
your camera is down.
Ah, yikes,
There we
thank
go.
you.
We can just do it like this, and we can keep us both on there, but we're in the same space. I had
Thank
this
you for
big
noticing.
vision. I had this big vision of us being able to have this conversation, and things work out the way they work out, and that's the same in life. I'm very sorry about your mother, because I know she was a stalwart, such a strong person for you, who raised you. Um, and it sounds like, she gave you a beautiful life. She was an amazing person, and so was mine. My mother is still alive. God, they say was, but um, but it was certainly tough for her. Yeah,
I'm, it's just like, it's those things, like, in life we just wish, like, one, like, to turn back time or to make changes. There's one of the things that I discussed in my very first show. The women that I had, we had all lost our moms, and
Oh.
one was a psychologist as well, and she mentioned that we actually have the gift to grieve, which means how much we love them.
Mhm.
And I never thought about that. I'm like, okay, this is my gift. It hurts, you know, but it's my gift because it shows how much love that I had. And Do you feel the same, or
That
you
is
under?
beautiful, but I am not there yet.
Yeah, yeah,
I haven't received that gift.
yeah.
I mean, certainly grieving,
Right.
but I haven't felt good about it. I mean, it's just the process. I'm
Yes.
exhausted. Um, and it's not, there was a little bit of relief when he passed because I knew he was no longer suffering because
Right.
it was, yeah, I just can't tell you. You just can't watch a loved one go. I mean, but you can't
Right.
watch them go through suffering and not suffer yourself.
So
And that was the hardest thing.
when you say not suffer yourself, how do you, as a psychologist, take care of yourself mentally and emotionally? Because you're a healer for others. Like, how are you taking care of yourself right now?
Really, well, right now, I'm just kind of walking through it. Um, See, grief to me, by the way, just to back up, grief has always been, I've always wondered about grief. And I put it in my head. This is my particular framing. I always thought this is sort of the opposite of falling in love. Because when you fall in love, it's really this bonding that you go through this tremendous high
Mm-hmm.
and just feels so good and you feel so wonderful and it really helps you build the bond of attachment. And you
Mm-hmm.
can have it with people, but you can have it with animals too. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, my goodness, I went through a huge bonding thing with my cat that I
Mm-hmm.
finally, I was teaching a class and I was talking about my cat and I turned to the class and I said, "Oh my God, I think I'm bonding with my cat." Like this is what's happening in my brain. I can see
Yes.
it happening. But with grief, it's sort of like having to come to terms with a hole that is now there, that the
Mm-hmm.
person is no longer there.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a multi step process
Mm-hmm.
because even though I know I'm aware
Mm-hmm.
that he passed, we still had to go through his birthday. We
Mm-hmm.
that was just a week ago. And then we're going to have Christmas
Mm-hmm.
and then, Thanksgiving, like the
Mm-hmm.
days when would see my brother every time, suddenly he's not going to be there. And I think that's going to be the hardest stuff to
Mm-hmm.
go through.
Mm-hmm.
My sister also just passed this year,
Mm-hmm.
which oddly complicated thing because
Mm-hmm.
that was a tough one too. She passed in January and it's just the three
Mm-hmm.
of us. So that the whole thing has been a trip to deal with,
Yes.
um, and just trying to walk through that process.
Mm-hmm.
One thing that's been helpful for me is just being around people that loved him,
Mm-hmm.
and also to be around family.
Mm-hmm.
Like those two things have been very helpful for
First of all, thank you so much for
me.
Dr. G, for sharing such a sensitive topic
Hmm.
and being open to, loss, but realizing, like, surrounding yourself with people who loved your loved ones, and people who also love and care about you. It's so important. Um, and that's a way I feel, for our users to, our viewers, to think about, in the times of, loss. It's just, at the hardest times where, we're at, to surround ourselves with love. I know that was important for me to do, is to be around even when I didn't want to. I didn't want sometimes to be around people,
No,
but what
no,
I,
I sometimes really
yeah,
like to just not talk to somebody,
yes,
like just be quiet.
yes,
sit
yes,
sit and like watch mindless television. I don't want to talk.
yes. That's what I would do. Just, I tried to watch, comedies and things
Comedies,
like,
tons of
yes,
comedies.
tons of comedies, just to, like, okay, let me, try to get some lightness, and it's a process, because it was, I went through the years of first as well, and they're hard. But this is what I say and what I know to be true, just tiny
I
steps.
agree with that
Tiny
100%.
steps.
And yet I said today, gosh, the funeral was yesterday and I don't feel better.
Mm,
And
mhm,
I was expecting to feel better after the
mhm,
funeral.
mhm.
Why? I don't know.
Right.
And I just went through this with my sister,
Yeah.
but in a way with my sister, I got kind of mad at her.
Mhm.
um, for the circle. I can't believe anger such was such a part of grief for both my brother and
Yeah.
sister, and I did not expect that emotion. But
Right.
I got mad at her for the circumstances of her death,
Mhm.
because there was a family rift, and then she died, and then
Mm.
and she couldn't.
Mhm.
She she could have repaired that,
Mhm.
but she
Mhm.
didn't. And time, if we gave it 6 more months, a year, probably that family rift would have smoothed.
Right.
So I was mad. I was mad about that unfairness. Like, suddenly she was taken from us,
Right.
and she couldn't make things better, or the other person
Yeah.
involved couldn't make things better, and it was just
A lot of
upset. I
right.
was upset. So
Yeah.
yeah, and like I can't even remember your question, which
Yeah.
goes to show how brain dead I am.
You know what? First of all, it's just like we have to just allow ourselves grace through this
We
process.
do.
And it's okay if we forget, we get angry, we get frustrated,
And who
or
wants
lose
to
our
talk
thoughts.
about grief? That's the thing that's so it's
Right.
like it's a downer topic, and at the same time it's what I'm going through. But I can
Yeah.
give advice. I'm going to give advice
Yes.
to
Please.
people,
Please
cuz
do.
people constantly, as a therapist,
Yes.
as a therapist,
Yes.
they're always asking you, "My friend had a death. What should I do? How can I
Yes.
help them?" And this is what I always say: just be with them, just hang out with them,
Mm-hmm.
just invite them out to a movie,
Yes.
invite yourself, say, I want to come over and cook you dinner,
Mm-hmm.
whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then they go, well, what do I say? You don't have to say anything.
Yes.
Wait till they talk. And if they don't say a damn thing, believe me, they didn't want to say a damn thing. They're
That's
fine. You
right.
don't have to ask people how they are
Yes.
continually, because when people
Yes.
do ask it, it's always the same stock answer.
Mm-hmm.
I'm okay.
Right.
I'm a,
Yeah.
I mean, I have my ups and downs, but I'm
Mm-hmm.
okay. But at the same time, being having people sort of be there. I've had friends who sent me little gifts and things. That
Yes.
was really touching.
Yes.
And
Yes.
flowers, which my mother, when he died, said people to everyone, don't send flowers. I don't know why, but she didn't want them. Like, she didn't want to deal
Yes.
with them. Where when I received flowers from people, it
Mm-hmm.
wasn't the flowers, it was the thought that
Thoughts.
meant
The
so much
thoughts.
to me.
Yes.
So I don't know.
Oh,
I think people can really help by doing less, like just being present. It's all they really care about.
I love that tip that you give. And can you give some more tips to people um, who may not be experiencing grief right now, but they're feeling overwhelmed or they're feeling anxious
Oh,
in the moment? What are some tips that you would, tell those
you
viewers?
gave the best advice. What did you give? Do you remember? You said small steps or small
Yes.
bits.
Mm-hmm.
People that are overwhelmed and anxious are basically taking something, and they're taking 100 steps and combining it into one, and they're thinking,
Mm-hmm.
how can I do all of this?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it is overwhelming. There's no way they
Yes.
can do all of that at one
Right.
time. So what they do need to do is just blindly cut out 99 of the steps and do the first one,
Mm-hmm.
and just stay there until it's done. Then they can do the second one.
Mm-hmm.
But if you use an approach like that, it'll help you move through. Now, a lot of people, the super anxious types, will often say, well, then I won't feel like I've accomplished much.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
that's a little bit of self-flagellating people do.
Mm-hmm.
They put themselves down. But we do have to first forgive ourselves that we're not Superman or Superwoman.
Right.
We're just a human being who's on this
Exactly.
earth. Yeah. And you know what? One thing about that also is helpful about death, gosh, I almost want to cry,
Mm.
um, is that nothing nothing matters except people. Nothing
Mm.
matters except relationships. And I look at my friends who have many, resources and money, and taking these world trips, and
Mhm.
constantly, doing all these amazing things, and I don't even envy them. I think, "Oh, good for you."
Mhm.
Um, all I really want is, you know, Well, all I really want is the people that died back, but that ain't going to happen. But I do really want, and that's silly, that's life. We have to accept it. But I just, the relationships with the people I love is the most valuable thing. And things
Mhm.
make very little difference. Experiences make
Yes.
a lot of difference. So
Experiences.
traveling, seeing
Yeah.
people,
Yeah.
that builds memory, and oh, that's a wonderful thing. So experiences I love, hanging out with people I love. Um, but the latest this or that, I don't care.
I love that you mentioned experiences because experiences are so important. I feel that they add value. My friend.
What?
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Um, that experiences I'm realizing that are more valuable like this in a sense
Yeah.
because this is something that will never be forgotten. Things come and go, but experiences stay.
Mhm.
And I feel that's a form of like how I find bliss, is to be able to spend time with my friends, people, my family, making memories that can't be taken away. um I'm just curious of like, of what small daily habit do you personally do to try to capture bliss?
Nothing. I don't
Mhm.
know. I'm going to tell you. I
Mhm.
don't I don't know that I do anything all that intentionally. I know a lot of people have these routines and they
Mhm.
meditate and they do this and that. I take it back. I say nothing and then I'm like, "Oh yeah, I do all that stuff." What I do essentially is I do try to get up at the same time every day.
Mhm.
I try to go to bed, I try to get enough sleep. I get up, I try to quickly, brush my teeth, shave, like get
Mhm.
ready and then I go to the gym.
Mm.
I work out.
Mhm. I can tell.
Thank you. I'm not feeling it as much right now, but thank you.
Mhm.
I work out and then I think I wake up at about that time once I'm done with my workout.
Mhm.
So the whole morning is a routine that is a bit of a meditation unto itself.
Mhm.
And I long thought that I used to say that the gym was my church, not because I worshiped the gym,
Right.
because while I was there, I felt I felt this power and connection and
Mhm.
just good stuff, and that it was a place to heal spiritually, even though you're
Mhm.
working out. And
Yeah.
I know a lot of people hate working out, so apologies to you. We all have our own individual thing. But
Yes.
I that be once the workout stops, then I consider the work that we do with clients, I consider that holy work
Mhm.
because you're there to help people and how wonderful it is to help someone.
Yes.
That I wonder if I would ever stop
Mhm.
the work because I talked to a potential client today, and he said he talked to a therapist who was elderly, in his 80s. And he said he was a little bit like talking to Aunt Clara from Bewitched. And if you don't know Aunt Clara from Bewitched, she was just really scatterbrained and probably what I'm coming across like right now, a little bit. But but I said, "Oh," and I had to think about myself. I'm like, I want to work until, you know, as long as I can. And then I thought, "Oh, I don't want to get to the point where people are talking about,
Right.
they're a little bit concerned about me." So, we'll see as we go, but I love the work of helping other people, and that's probably been my biggest thing. Other than that, I try to be a real human being.
Yes.
So I don't try to be better than other people or be a therapist outside of the therapy room. I'm not. I try to be a human being in every sense of the word because that's how I get in touch with what other human beings go through.
I love it, Dr. G. First of all, you've been a gift with the tips that you have given the viewers, and maintaining their mental health, and also being so truthful and vulnerable of your grief right now that you're having. And I appreciate that so much. I do have a gift for you.
What is
because
it?
we have to wrap up, but I have a gift for Dr. G I want to show. Now, I saw these socks. These are Bob Ross socks.
Okay. How do you know? Do we share a Bob Ross hilarity once?
Do you like Bob Ross?
Oh, who doesn't like Bob Ross? So this is one of the sad things about PBS going away is Bob Ross, because Bob Ross, I don't even know if he's still alive, is he?
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He used to do these he used to do these crazy painting shows, and he was just like, "Oh, you just take a brush stroke here and a brush stroke there, and all of a sudden you have this beautiful painting." If you were anybody at home, you would know that he was very talented and you were not.
Right.
But he was so encouraging and lovely about doing it. And he didn't say there are no such things as mistakes, only happy accidents.
I love it. And I feel like this is what this show is about. There's no thing as mistakes, but happy accidents. And I want to thank you all for watching. It's a wrap right now. And I just want you to realize to live a life that's both blissed and blessed, because you deserve it. And I'm also giving him this. Always be kind.
Oh, yay. Thank you.
I love you, friends.
Bye, guys.
Oh, remember, live a life that's both blissed and blessed, because you deserve it. And be kind to yourself.